Don't wanna test us. We ball hard, run around with the best.
Hello and welcome to the Relentless Podcast. This is episode 3. I'm here with Coach Haney. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm great, Mike. How you doing?
Doing great. We haven't spoken since 2021, so it's a brand new year.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year to everybody listening, and Happy New Year to you as well. We're gonna jump right into the new year. Might as well speak about the new year. Are we a New Year's resolution team? Do we have a list that we compile come the new year? Or
No, I'm not one of those guys that you're gonna go work out in the new year. Because I don't think that lasts. We just, like we talked about in the last podcast, man. We're a team of standards, and those standards need to be upheld in 2021. And same thing, and just raise it to a higher standard in 2022.
Now, are there any specific things you're looking forward to this year? Obviously, the difference it being just the calendar and, on the months are changing. Are there any specific days that you're looking forward to?
No, not too many specific days or games or anything like that. We're just excited to be able to just put our feet on the floor every morning, man, and get a chance to get in here, and I get a chance to coach basketball for a career, man, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, you've been here for quite a while now. How have things changed, at JU, and kind of speak to that?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's been tremendous, the amount of just growth we've seen on this campus. And shout out to President Cost, man, and Alex Rickard Gilbert, our AD, for making sure that we're operating at an elite level here at Jacksonville University, and just doing things to the best of our ability, man. And we have new buildings being put on campus. We're slated to move into our new facility really, really soon, and probably within the next 2 weeks, I think. So we're just excited about that, man, and we're excited about the growth that this university has done. We're excited about the growth of the type of people that's coming to our stables, people like you. So we're excited about that, and we're thankful for that as well.
Oh, for sure, and it's been exciting being here, for a few months here, and everything kind of seeming to be back to normal. And now with people coming back on campus, it's much more exciting in the stands, and conference play just seems so different, comparatively to earlier in the season. Can you talk to that a little bit? What the difference of a conference game?
I mean, there's always 3 seasons, well, really 4 seasons we call them, and you got the preseason, and that's talking about when we're doing our preseason prep and conditioning, and then we have non-conference, where you go into non-conference play and you're kind of figuring out who you are, first couple games of the season, maybe the 10, and then you get that identity right before Christmas. And once you get and solidify that identity of your team, and we know who we have, and everybody knows each other, and now you get into conference play, and that's when it's go time, and you got to really lock in and play basketball the right way, because we got some good teams in this conference, man, and some good coaches in this conference, and it's really exciting just to see the differences in styles, and it's really exciting for us as a staff and me as a coach, just to be able to just navigate the lay of the land, because it may change every night. You might have a team that does this one night, and then another team that does something completely different the next night. So we got to be just ready and be able to impose our will on teams, and that's going to be one of the big keys.
Does the structure help a little bit more? Because earlier in the season, obviously, you're playing the non-conference games, and it's kind of all over the place. It could be on a Saturday, on a Monday, on a Wednesday. With conference play, it's usually which without structure, there's chaos, right? So you want that structure so you can kind of get on a regimen, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you break up the monotony with the young people. You know what I mean? Like, we want to make sure that we're doing some things just off on a tangent sometime, like just to keep it lively and keep it going, just like anything else, man. So we want to make sure we do that, but at the same time, we're going to stick to our standards in doing that. And that's who we are, and that's what we're going to do. Conference game also brings rivalry, obviously. This upcoming Saturday, we have UNF. It's kind of a battle of Jacksonville. Yep. I haven't been here yet for that. What can I expect, or someone that's not, kind of never seen that?
Man, it's going to be rocking. Both games, on both ends, men's and women's basketball. We're at UNF this weekend.
and later on in the year we'll play our games here. But it's gonna be crazy, man. It's the Battle of Duval, and we got to make sure we own it.
For sure, and now we have Jacksonville State as well coming into the ASUN, so kind of three Jacksonville teams now kind of battling for one area.
Right.
So that's exciting to look forward to as well. We're also on the road for the next two after UNF. It's supposed to snow in Lynchburg. I don't know if you saw on the Sunday before we're coming up.
Right.
Obviously we dealt with Minnesota earlier in the year, but such a different weather, is there a mental aspect to that? Kind of, I know it obviously in game it's indoors, but
Right.
traveling and health purposes, how does everyone stay?
I just think we just got to make sure we are taking the proper. I just say make the proper adjustments and do what we have to do to make sure that they're as healthy as we can be. They got winter coats and jackets and all that stuff, and we're ready to go up there. And we're going up there with a mindset we need to take care of business. Now, I'm from Miami, so I don't like the cold like that, man. But at the same time, we go up there and we get in a hotel and we get to practice, and I make sure I can bring my long johns and my tights, man, and have them up under my pants, and we rock.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's definitely a very big difference. Virginia to Miami
Absolutely.
is a significant
Absolutely.
change, and it's exciting to travel though. A lot more now and kind of get out and move around. It's good to experience other places,
Absolutely.
especially for someone like Jalissa, a freshman. A lot of the younger players
Right.
coming in,
Right.
really experiencing that for the first time. Have they talked to you a little bit about that? Or
You know what? The landscape of grassroots basketball has blossomed so much that these kids, in the summer, these kids are playing 60 games. They've been everywhere. They've been in hotels. It's almost like playing college basketball. Where they'll go to Kentucky and they'll play for a weekend, or they'll play for 5-6 days. They'll go to Nike Nationals and play for whatever, and it's they're just used to. I just think they're used to the travel, where some of it's travel with their parents when they're in high school level, but they're kind of used to it, and they understand, like our kids understand, because we've done a lot of traveling in non-conference. They understand our regimen and what it looks like and the structure to it, and it kind of gets them on a routine. And once you get on a routine, that's when you can get the rolling and you can kind of focus a lot.
So speaking of newer players and younger players, we have a new recruit coming in, Emmy James, coming out of Orlando, coming from Southern Miss. Can you speak a little bit to her play style and, kind of as a kid, how you could talk about?
Well, me being from, I was a high school coach in Orlando before I got here. And, when I got here, Emmy James was just going into middle school or she was just going into high school or just going into middle school as the probably the top player in Orlando, in the Orlando area, at her position. I've always been able to. I'm very good friends with her high school coach, and I've always been able to just watch her grow and watch her blossom. And we recruited her and lost her in recruiting to Southern Miss. She had some family in Mississippi that was close to the area, and I thought we were gonna lose her to UCF. And Seton Hall was recruiting her as well, and she chose Southern Miss, and we congratulated her, and it didn't work out at Southern Miss, and the first person when we see them in the portal, and you see somebody that's familiar and somebody that we know and somebody that feels comfortable with us and we feel comfortable with them, they call old Uncle Coach D. Haney, and then all of a sudden, some things happen, and we make sure I got a chance to get on the mic with her family and get on the phone with her, man. And, she made a decision to come on with us and join our family, man. We're so excited about that. She's a combo guard. She can play the point. She can play the two. She can play some of the three. She's a bigger guard. Shoots the ball really well. High IQ. And elite athleticism. She's a Jacksonville guard. You see those Jacksonville guards out there. You see the Jashari Grahams. You see the Denasia Shaw. You see the Jalissa Dunlaps. She's another one of those coming out of that fold. So she can do those things that those guards can do. She shoots it extremely well, man. She's just most importantly, man, she's just a high character kid. Kid has her own nonprofit organization.
Oh, wow.
So like when we talk about being a CEO and a pro, she's a CEO and she has an opportunity to be a pro.
Yeah, and how do you integrate players into a team that's been built with other players kind of previously?
Well, very, very carefully, right? You want to make sure that they feel comfortable. You want to make sure that the girls feel comfortable around them. A lot of them, we got a couple players on our team that know her already. We got somebody on our team that played AAU ball with her. So that'll be it. That's a good adjustment. And then just knowing those people and making sure that they get on the horn with her and making sure that she, meets the staff and she meets the people around, man, and just do it very carefully. And we just welcome her to the family, and this is what it is, man. We want to make sure that she feel comfortable here so she can come in and be her best self. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, and that'll build chemistry moving forward. And how has the chemistry kind of, as we've talked about all these new faces this season, how has the chemistry formed over the rest of the season, now that we're 13, 14 games in?
We have to continue to push the envelope about that, because at any time, we want to make sure that we're getting closer when adversity hits. And they did that. We just played a game last night, and they did that. Adversity hit a little bit, and we could have folded, we could have separated, but they got closer and closer. And sometimes it's because they don't want to hear our mouth, right? Sometimes it's because they love each other. They truly do. They truly want to see each other be successful. They truly want to make sure that it's our theme this week, our standard this week. We got a standard every week that we make sure we live by. And our standard this week is we before me. So one of the biggest things that we talked about before the game last night, and I want to commend Asia Jones and Shania Jackson, Mo, for last night. We talked about this in the locker room before the game, where what we before me looks like and what we before me sounds like, right? And, on the bench, they were cheering for each other. They were rooting each other on. But one of the things that Mo and Asia did last night, there was a call on there was a call on Mo on the offensive end, and it wasn't a good call, right? He missed the call, right? And Mo moved on to the next play because she knew she had to play defense for her sisters, right? Same thing with Asia. She made a move. She felt like she got fouled. At first, she was getting ready to get to a point to where she was like, why they not calling fouls for me? But then she realized that she needed to get back and play defense for her teammates and be with each other defensively. So I think just making sure that they understand those standards and making sure that they understand what we're trying to do here and how much the standards play a role in us in the long run. I think that's the most important thing.
Does someone like Asia being kind of a veteran player, does that help a lot for the players coming in and younger players?
Absolutely. I think sometimes with the younger players, with a person that's more mature, I think she may not understand it, but she does understand it because she's like, that used to be me, right? But she may not want to deal with that at the time. But at the same time, I think a person like Asia, a person like Taylor, that are older, that are more mature, and that are more experienced, but more mature, right? They've been through college. They've been through a lot of ups and downs outside of basketball, so they know what those younger players are feeling. And, it's not, the blind leading the blind. It's somebody a little bit older that can tell you, listen, I made that mistake. You may not want to go down that path. Coming from me as a coach, it's not the same as coming from your teammate, right? So I think it's huge for us to be able to have some veteran people that can be leaders in that aspect.
Yeah, you talked about yesterday during right after the game about Taylor Hawks kind of being like the head coach on the floor, kind of directing traffic and as well as kind of holding each player accountable. Can you talk a little bit to the podcast about that, about kind of her ability to run the floor?
So what my job, and I told Taylor this before she came and decided to come with us. My job is to make her the general, and one of the things that she had to learn to make sure that things were getting done, right? That people were in the right spots on the floor. And she had to be able to do that in a variety of ways to different players. So some players you can yell at. You need to be there, right? Some players you can't. Some players you got to go shoot with them. Some players you got to go to lunch with them. Some players you got to just do different things so that you can get everyone to buy in. That's what I have to do as a head coach. So at the same time, she has to do that. So we meet and we talk like a lot, right? Because I need to make sure that she has the same mind frame I have, and I see what she sees and she sees what I see. And a lot of times it gets to where when we're in the room and like she's like speaking her mind, and I like that. I like that because I think you need to have that if you're gonna be a leader in any aspect. So she speaks her mind, and I tell her my piece, and we roll from there. And then we walk out of the room, we together. So she had a really good game last night. She's coming with it, and she continues to grow and continues to get better. And excited about what the year holds for her.
So, as it's, the topic has constantly been a new year. Got to talk about any new food that you're trying this year. I know that obviously you're not a New Year's resolution person for diet purposes, maybe, but.
Well, listen. So, New Year is my anniversary. My wife is going. I wouldn't be. The great husband that I am if I didn't mention our anniversary. Was January the 2nd. It starts the new year with our anniversary, and we were able to go out to this restaurant. I had to make sure I took her out to a nice restaurant, and we went to a new restaurant in Town Center. It's called RH Rooftop. Really, really nice, great ambiance. Caesar salad was amazing. The Caesar salad was amazing. They had a burger that was really, really good. And but if you want to go somewhere for ambiance, fellas, you want to go somewhere for ambiance and take your significant other, ladies, you want to take your significant other for somewhere for nice scenery and ambiance, take them to RH Rooftop. Awesome experience. Awesome. The menu isn't as plentiful as maybe some other restaurants, but they have some good stuff there. The food is good, man, and the ambiance is tremendous.
Well, happy anniversary to both of you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'll tell her you said you sent your best.
And I would actually like to close out on a topic of outside of basketball, who are some people that have really been helping you throughout your career kind of build as an individual and as a professional? You mentioned your wife, but
yeah, so she's the girls think I'm like just this tough guy or whatever the case may be, or I try to act like a tough guy, but she's like the tough one. She's like, dude, you said you were gonna do this, when you gonna do it, right? Or before I took this job as an assistant, I was contemplating on staying where I was as a high school coach. She was like, dude, I thought you told me you wanted to be a college basketball coach. So you want to do that, you need to do it. And she says that, and she kind of gets on me about that. She's like, you tripping. So she does that. My wife, my father's really big in my life. My mom is really big in my life. I have mentors in the basketball profession. I have mentors outside of it that I look to and talk to, and sometimes vent to, man. And I just get it. The number one source I have is the man above, man. I just pray and make sure that I'm trying to do things the right way by these young women and the right way by this program, man. And we just continue to move forward and try to get better and better and better every day.
Oh, that's awesome. That's one thing that I, want to push, especially for a new year, is people think, just appreciating those around you that maybe you don't think of at all times. Just there's a lot of people in the background that get you to where you are that maybe you don't acknowledge all the time or, really even know. So that was something I wanted to end with for sure.
As a matter of fact, when speaking on that, I have a mentor. When I was a high school coach, I was a high school boys coach. This may have been 10, 12 years ago. I was able to meet a young man. He's really not a young man. He's older than me, but I call him a young man. He's now an assistant coach at Florida Gulf Coast on the men's side, and his name is Kevin Sutton. And we talk often, and he was able to put something in my head that I'm going to take with me forever, just speaking on that, man. And he told me, if you ever ride down an old country road and you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know that he didn't get there by himself. And that just stuck with me, because no matter what happened and no matter where I go or no matter where these young women go, they have to understand that it wasn't just them that got them there. Right? It was some people that helped them along the way. It might have been somebody that did whatever, paid for their shoes to play basketball, or took them to practice. Their family took them to practice every day, or brought them here to come to school, or just somebody that helped them in any aspect when they were going through a tough time. So you always understand when you see those people that's player of the week, and you see people that's all conference, and you see people that's graduating and walking across that stage when their college days as undergraduate or graduate have come to an end, you always know that they didn't get there by themselves. So I want to commend everybody that had a hand in my life and in everybody's life. If you can touch somebody and help them grow and you can push them up, I want to just personally thank you all for that. And then I want to make sure that the young women in our program just thank those people that helped them as well.
Well, I think that's a great resolution for people to have then, and just to appreciate those that maybe go unnoticed all the time.
Respect and appreciate it all, man, because it's not everything. Everybody doesn't get the same opportunities, and everybody isn't blessed the same way. Everybody has some type of blessing that they're given, but they're not blessed the same way, and you got to look at everything as a blessing and an opportunity to just show your appreciation.
For sure. Well, we appreciate you for watching. I guess that'll end it on that. I think that's a great positive message to
No doubt.
end off. So we appreciate you for watching. If you're not watching, we do upload these fully on our YouTube channel, as well as much other JU content at JU Athletics on YouTube. You can also find previous episodes as well as the rest of JU content on any streaming platform that you listen to. That really has it for me. Coach, do you have anything else?
I'm good. We play at UNF Saturday. We need everybody in green. Everybody in green. Let's pack the house. We got to make sure we take down those birds over there.
For sure. It's just a little bit down the road, so we hope to see you guys there. To stay up to date on anything Jacksonville women's basketball, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jax_WBB, as well as on Facebook at Jacksonville Women's Basketball. So that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Relentless, don't wanna test us.